What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? It's your boy 49er Dion here, back with another video. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. So if you've seen the name of the video, it's called Roster Check. We are definitely going to be doing several of these to make sure that we check on the roster. Now that we've got everybody that we need, we've got a couple of people in camp, and training camp will be started here within the next month or two. So for this show, we're talking about the QBs and the running backs. And I'm going to bring in a special guest. You guys all know him. You all love him. Mr. Mose Knows. I'll drop him on in here, man. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not much, man. I'm living life. I can't complain. Thank you so very much for having me on. Can't wait to get into the show and dive in. So just a pleasure to be here. Happy to be on with you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for taking the time to come on, man. I always like to get together with other 49er family, to go ahead and get into stuff, and I like to get other people's perspectives, because I'm a little biased sometimes on my own. So having that other person to level me off makes it a little bit easier, But
yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah, man, we're gonna jump right on into it. So we'll address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, obviously, is we traded up to number 3. And we did this informing our current quarterback of what we were going to do. So what I can say for John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan is that's a respectful move. To come to him and say, hey, look, man, we get it. We like it when you're on the field. You're just not on the field. You cannot stay healthy. We did make that move, and our intent is to draft a quarterback. And for me, Jimmy's reaction was what it was supposed to be. Lit a fire right under his ass. Hey, I have no time to play around with y'all. I'm pissed. I know what y'all doing. You think it's a game? Okay, we're gonna see how it works. Did you watch his press conference just recently?
I did, and one of the things that I got from that is, he really tried to be Mr. GQ. He tried to be professional with it. He tried to say all the right things, but the reporters, they hit him with certain questions.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess you can say you've seen a little bit of the fire come out. He didn't want to cause too much controversy. He didn't want to have anything that was too much bulletin board material. But you can see where certain questions irked him. You can see where certain things got under his skin a little bit, and you can kind of tell by how his response. He called himself, but you could tell how some of the questions and how they were phrased, really, he had been thinking about these questions for a while. And you can kind of see his facial expressions. It's like, I knew I was going to get that question. Mm-hmm. And here's how I want to respond, but let me make sure it's PC enough to where it ain't causing too much trouble for Kyle and John.
Yeah, for me, man. Okay, I still watch wrestling to this day. I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid. My favorite wrestler unfortunately died, the Ultimate Warrior. I loved his spirit. I loved everything about him. His energy was unmatched. There's not a wrestler today outside of maybe The Rock that could bring a crowd just to a roar like that. But they got these new cats, the Street Profits. And they got this, they Montez Ford, man, he's a cold dude, man. This kid's super athletic. And I'm going to tell you right now, they have their little sayings on there. And, of course, we all know their saying didn't start with them, but they made it famous in WWE. Jimmy G wants the smoke. Jimmy wants all the smoke. In camp and out, he wants all the smoke. You could see him visibly getting irritated. Like, all right, look, man, y'all not about to force me to like this little punk, all right? You brought him in. Y'all already pissed me off, trying to bring somebody in and take my damn job. Here I am doing what I'm supposed to do, and y'all are going to bring in some little young punk to try to come in here and take my job, and then you want to sit up here and make it seem like I'm supposed to be buddy-buddy. Should I move him in? Should we be roommates? No, we're not going to do that. That's why he was saying, like, his body language, everything about him was like, ask me again. Ask me one more question. I want to hear Trey Lance's name one more time. What? Please, I'm begging you. I'm gonna give it to you. Ooh, I'm gonna give it to you,
bro.
like,
You know what I thought of? You remember next Friday when Pinky showed up to the record store? He kept telling Ice Cube, "Shut up! Say it again! Say it again! Say it again! Say it again!
Say it again!" That is so real.
That's how Jimmy was. And they asked him. They kept asking him over and over. He was like, "So, how are you and Trey getting along? What are you doing for you and Trey to get?" And he was like, "Yo, like we hung out. Like I mean, like I don't know what y'all expect. Like." Yeah. We're not buddy. Like we're not having sleepovers. We're not in the backyard toasting marshmallows and nothing. We hung out a few times. I mean, we went out to lunch. You know, we had a couple conversations. We hung. It's cordial, but y'all expect me to tell you, oh, I invited him to my house for sleepovers. We painted each other's nails. We went to go get haircuts together. Like they keep asking him, like, how are you fostering this relationship? Like, what's going on within this relationship? And he like, yo, relax, be like, we've talked, we've had conversations, we've hung out, but like y'all want me to say like he's my best friend in the world. Like they don't even know each other. They just met. Yeah. And like you said, Kyle and John, they did the man thing. They came to him like a man. This is what our thought process is. This is what we're going to do. We just want to let you know about it. He was in his feelings and Jimmy had every right to, but he did something that nobody asked him to do. After Trey Lance was selected, the first person to reach out to Trey Lance was Jimmy G. Mm-hmm. The first person. Now you can say what you want about Jimmy's play. You could say what you want about him not being available. To me, as a man, that was dope.
Yeah.
I know you coming unmatched. You coming in, you play the same position that I play, and it's going to be a competition. But I'm still going to congratulate you because you just got drafted 3rd overall in the NFL draft. That's a big accomplishment. So competition aside, as a man, I respect your journey. And I'm happy that you got drafted because that is an awesome experience. Glad that you're on my team. Glad that you're not on another team where I have to face you and let's go to work. So like, I understand the reporters have to do their job and they have to ask questions. But the same question over and over and over and trying to dig deeper and get more information. Like, I get it. I really do get it. But you also, if you're going to do that, you got to understand the frustration and the irritation that may come out in some of the answers. You like, chill, man. We've hung out, but that's all we've been able to do so far.
Yeah. Like for me, I looked at it straight up like, and I did it, you know what I'm saying? If you get a chance to, man, basically those interviews, what I did was, you seen Key and Peele? Remember Obama and Luther?
Yeah.
I basically did that. I did that and I put that out there, man, because it's like, you got to think about it. And in reality, it's like, you're going to ask me about him a million times. I'm going to tell you the same thing continuously. And one thing that I see a lot of media personalities do is they say, well, you know, people shouldn't get upset. You mean to tell me if somebody's sitting there doing this to you consistently, that's not going to bother you? After you told them to stop several times, you might want to turn around and smack somebody. Look, man, I told you to stop tapping me on my dang show. What do you want? Like, at the end of the day, you got to remember, people are human beings. It's only natural. Yeah, I seen him. He's like, they going to ask me another question. And I swear for God, I'm going to pop off. I'm not. They think, y'all keep thinking I'm a chump. I swear, y'all, I am Italian. Do y'all not know? Okay, you think y'all think okay? It's cool. Watch, say something. I'm telling you, like it really was. It irked him and it bothered him. But what I can say is the inconsistency in his play and the inconsistency of being healthy is what led to this, and he knows that. So working behind Tom actually made his character perfect almost. Because you don't see him get rattled easily. You know, you never see Tom Brady go at the media. You know why? He's too cool for school, man. Look, man, I got 7 of these, bro. I can do this right here. I ain't driven. Y'all say what y'all want, baby. I got 7 rings. Tell me I ain't the greatest. Go ahead, it's cool. Say it. That's fine. That did, championships speak volumes. I'll go down as the greatest QB ever. I don't have to worry about that. And he built that rapport with Jimmy, to an extent to be able to say, like, hey, man, this is what it is. This is how you act. The Patriots built that in him. So the way he reacted, I was happy to see it. I wanted him to get a little edgy with him. Like, yo, man, look, shut up about this kid, all right? Dang, y'all go ahead and jump on and crown him the next king. When I go out here and take us to another Super Bowl and win this time, what you gonna say then? No, you ain't got a lot to say, do you? Because you got to think about it. Jimmy goes and he says, hey, we're going to, we get to the playoffs. We get to an NFC championship even, and we lose. Do you sit Jimmy next year? I don't think so. Can you trade him? Yes.
Yeah.
His trade value skyrocketed from that type of situation if it were to occur. But, it's like, I can't compare it to the previous situation that we had at quarterback when it came to Joe and Steve, because Steve was ready. They were ready to move on. That situation was probably comparable to pretty much Jimmy and Tom. The only difference is Tom went up there and cried to Robert Kraft, and Robert Kraft was like, Tommy, calm down. It's okay. Wipe your tears. And he came in and, Bill Belichick with that straight face. I'll tell you, Bill Belichick probably walked, man, what the fuck you want? Bill, we're going to have to trade Jimmy. What the fuck for, man? This motherfucker, it's time to move on to the next. I see y'all get on my nerves. Did I not draft a young kid and groom him to be the next Tom? It's time to move on. I let players go before they fall off their rocker. Okay? This is what I do. I'm known for that. And I have a pretty good reputation at doing it. You know why? Because when they leave here, they suck. Only person that done left there that don't suck is in our division, and he scares the shit out of me. His name is Chandler Jones. If you think about it, he left the Patriots. He's been balling ever since. I hate him. I hate him with a passion. Mm-hmm. He's such a large individual. I actually ran across him in a grocery store out here. Good God. That man is – that's – yeah, I don't want to see you on the field. Leave me alone.
Wait, 6'5", 270, something
man,
like that?
I don't want to see you on the field in a dark alley. I want to move to the next aisle if I see you come. It's just those things, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If life throws, a situation at you, you got to handle your business, but you ain't going to walk in asking for it. No. Ain't nobody going to be dumb enough. I'm only 5'6". So you can think about it, man. I'm over here. I'm already looking up. Jesus Christ. Scratch your head. I met Calais Campbell out here too. Met him in Tempe.
He like 6'10".
Bro, nicest dude you ever meet in your life. Super, super cool.
He got that.
And his woman's shorter than me.
He got that big hearty laugh. Oh, he do.
Never
mind.
No.
Let me keep man. That. We gotta keep it PG.
Calais, he was cool as heck.
He slinging that little thing all over the place.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's a wrap, bro. I looked at that little guy. I was like, why are you with him? You look like a baby. He gonna carry you like a he can put her in one of them little strap-on things you carry. You put her in that. Carry her. She's short, man.
Oh, man.
Beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. It's all good. But he was nice, man. He was super cool. I just, I walked past and I was like, oh, man, Calais Campbell. He goes, hey, man, how you doing? I said, I'm good. I said, I don't want to interrupt you, man. I see you with your woman, And he said, no, it's cool, brother. He said, I actually appreciate the fact that you said that. Most people don't even care. And, I just had, a small little 2-minute conversation with him. And, he was a little upset because I was a 49er fan. But, it was – I told him, I was like, hey, look, man, don't worry. I respect your game. You out there, you do your thing, I said, I don't want you to do it against us, So, if you want to take the day off or something, get a little stomach ache or something, get the runs, when you got to play us, I'm okay with that. And he just laughed, but he was one of the nicest people. But I think with Jimmy, since he's been so well groomed to do all those things, he's just smart about it. He's not going to push the line. And Would you agree? I'm gonna go out on the limb and say he's the starter. I don't think he gets beat out. I believe that Jimmy is the starter coming out of training camp, and I'll tell you why. Strictly based on the fact that with Jimmy, he knows the system already. And though Trey Lance, everybody's talked about his football IQ and how smart he is. You just don't pick this Shanahan book up like that, and it just clicks like it. That now, if it does, I mean, hey, who am I to judge? But at the end of the day, I just don't see it.
I agree with you. I think obviously Jimmy knowing the system, he's been in it, 3-4 years now. So he's only been able to digest more of it. And coupled with that, I think there's 27 million reasons why he's going to be the starter week 1. I mean, I can't see, if I gotta, and not saying Jimmy's a Lamborghini based on performance. I'm saying he's a Lamborghini based on the price tag. If I got a Lamborghini in the driveway, I'm not going to go out here and take the keys to a Toyota Corolla. I'm going to drive the Lamborghini. I paid for it, I'm paying that car note. I'm paying that insurance. I'm going to drive it. So, we paying him $27 million. I can't see any way where he gets beat out by Trey Lance. And if he does, I think that's when you have to see John Lynch and his front office staff go into overdrive to try to find a trade partner. But again, with Trey Lance, as young as he is, coming into a system such as Kyle Shanahan's, not saying, like you said, I agree with you, not saying that he can't, but I just find it difficult to see him being able to grasp that much of the offense for him to be able to start week 1 in the NFL over somebody who has, 3-4 years of experience in this system.
Yeah, you make perfect sense with exactly everything that you said. And as much as I like the kid, he's still got a ways to go. He's going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have those, what I like to call, they're not true fans. You're going to have those people that are going to rip him to shreds when he throws his first interception. Oh, look at his accuracy. Oh, look at this. Every quarterback throws INTs, right? This is going to – if you watch any kind of football, it's bound to happen at some point. Yes, he only threw 1 interception in college. The man only played 17, 18 games. And when you're in a run-heavy offense, it's fairly easy not to throw an interception. You know why? Not throwing the ball that often. You know what I mean? So it's like when his time does come, for me, if he has to play this year, I hope it comes on the heels. And I don't want Jimmy to get injured. Knock on wood. I don't want him to get injured. I hope it comes on the same type of situation for Jimmy that it was for him. Where he came in, he had a couple weeks to digest some of the playbook. Unfortunately, CJ gets injured. Our crowd, for some ungodly reason, cheered that, which is completely messed up. That's wrong. But he came in, took us to those wins. You know what I mean? So for me, if Trey could do that, if we get a good 6-7 games in, unfortunately something would have happened to Jimmy and Trey can walk right in, at least he's had time to digest it. He could chill with Scangarello and say, hey man, this is what I'm having a problem with. What do we do here? What do we do there? You know what I mean? And start to get him that type of situation. And may have an Alex Smith Cap type situation.
I think for me, and I agree with you, I don't want Jimmy to get hurt, but I'm thinking for Trey Lance, if it has to be this year, I'm thinking that may be the easiest transition. Yeah. Because if he does come into a game where Jimmy gets hurt, now he's coming into a game where the team that he's playing against hasn't prepared for him. They prepared for Jimmy. They haven't prepared for Trey Lance or the type of offense Kyle is going to run with Trey Lance at quarterback. And then when he comes in because Jimmy gets injured, it's next man up mentality. I have to go in because we don't have anybody above me. So with that, there isn't much expectation. There isn't any undue pressure or expectation on him to succeed if he's thrown in on a whim like that. If Jimmy gets injured and he has to come into the game, there won't be as much expectation as if Kyle says he's our starter week one. Because if Kyle says he's our starter week one, well, then that means he's shown you everything from understanding the offense, from executing the offense, from him leading the huddle, from him making plays, from him reading the defense at the line of scrimmage and making changes if he needs to, from him, reading the defense once he snapped the ball and able to go through his reads and his progressions. He's shown you everything where you say he's better than Jimmy in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's better than Jimmy in every category. So by you telling the fans he's the starter week one, in our minds, he beat Jimmy in every category. Now that puts expectation and pressure on him. Well, if he's better than Jimmy, if he beat Jimmy in every category throughout the offseason and preseason, well, then that means we shouldn't see interceptions. But like you said, look at Peyton Manning's rookie year. Look at how many interceptions he's thrown. Ooh. And now Peyton Manning is one of the greats. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to expect him not to throw interceptions. We're going to expect him not to get sacked because now he's a young, mobile quarterback, 6'4", 230 pounds. He's big. He's stocky. He's solid. He doesn't go down easy. So when he gets sacked because, the offensive line couldn't maintain their blocks, or when he throws an interception because the defense put a coverage out there and they kind of confused him a little bit, then we're going to be jumping down his throat because Kyle told us, based by him being a starter week one, that he's better than Jimmy in every category. So I think it'd be better for the kid if he comes in a situation that is injury based instead of him being, labeled the starter. Because I know, like you said earlier, the fans going to kill him. Soon as he makes one mistake, like I'm a faithful. I love all the faithful, but sometimes like expectations from us as a fan base are way out of whack. Like even if we traded Jimmy and we traded Jimmy during the draft and we knew going into week one that Trey Lance is a starter, he's still a rookie.
Yeah.
The kid is only 21 years old. I don't care how athletic you are. I don't care how much God-given ability you have. You still 21. He's still green.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's just coming into life. You just legally old enough to get yourself a drink. Just
listen. I can tell you how much stuff I thought I knew at 21.
Oh yeah.
And now being 33, I was like, yo, I didn't know nothing. And thank God some power better than me was looking out for me because man, the stuff that I thought I knew when I was 21, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. And I just turned 40. So, just thinking now, it's like you understand those people when they tell you'll understand these things later in life. You know what I mean? And that's what will happen with him. He'll continue to grow. But the cool thing is that he has a good support system around himself. And, the other thing that I took from, some of those interviews was what Kittle said himself was smart. They're like, well, how do you help the rookies, as far as them living? He's like, get a roommate, get 2, get 3. Like, that's the way to survive because California costs so much damn money. And you living in the Bay Area, that ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? You want a rookie deal. Depending on what round you got drafted in, you don't have a ton of money. See, for me, I look at it like this. You got into the NFL. So you basically are getting game checks. That's how y'all get paid. Y'all get paid week to week outside of whatever little bonuses, all the things that you do. So what do? You just be smart. Just pay your rent for the whole year. Don't be dumb. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want a roommate, just, all right, look, I'm going to find me a good spot. It's not going to cost me too much. I'm going to understand what my game checks look like. I'm going to figure out how to budget this. Boom. Walk into the office and say, hey, look, here's a check for the whole year. Don't come knocking on my door unless, is maintenance or, something like that. It's just having that support system around you to be able to usher you into the NFL in the right way. Because 3 to 3.5 years is like pretty much the league average now. So within that time frame, you've got to do everything you can just to be able to stay on a roster. And with the NFL being serious, what have you done for me lately? It creates a situation where it's very hard, which is why Jimmy finds himself in the situation he is in now. Because, yeah, it was great that you took us to the Super Bowl, but defense looked pretty damn good. Running game was working pretty damn good. There were a couple games you dug us out of a hole. I mean, hell, that pass to George Kittle was easy. Any one of the 3 quarterbacks could have done that, him, CJ, or Nick. And that same play would have happened. Any one of them. Like, if you look at that play, the whole way the diagram is set up for George to win. I mean, hell, I remember Shanahan literally calling a touchdown to one of the refs, and the ref kind of scoffed at him. And next thing you know, the touchdown happened. The ref was like, oh, oops. Like, it's certain things. Like, he even told George that same play, said, as long as you don't fall down, he'll score on this play. I guarantee it. So for me, and then it's another thing for Kyle. This is another year for him to prove it. He's had 2 losing seasons. You know what I mean? Actually, no, I take that back. 3 now? Yeah. 3. You went 4-12 and 6-10 twice. You know what I mean? You've been to the Super Bowl once, and it's like a lot of people give him a lot of credit, but I honestly don't think that he does what he does with everyone. He does it with specific people, which is understandable. You can't expect him to be, Mr. Fix-It with everybody and doesn't, I can put anybody in this system to make him win. No, because I'm going to tell you right now, if Nate Sudfeld starts, we're done. Mm-mm. If Josh Rosen starts, we can kiss the season goodbye. Why? Because those dudes, I'm a UCLA guy. I am. So I like Josh Rosen. The only issue is the kid never got a fair shot at it. You know why? Because he came in with Steve Wilks. Wilks is the defensive guy. He didn't have an offensive guy to really put, a good structure around Josh Rosen to get him in there and make, do the things that he needs to do. And then you look and you say, hey, like Wilks, we don't like you. We're going to hire Cliff Kingsbury. He's the next hottest thing. And to me, that sucked because I was like, well, did another black coach greasy again. He only got 1 year and did no chance to try to. They knew the Cardinals were bad. Yep. They knew they were bad. And they knew that's the only thing that kills me with the owners is they want to win right now, but you can't bring somebody in and automatically think you're going to win right now. You have to give people time, But this is 4 years for Kyle. He's got 3 losing seasons. That don't look good. So he's got to get in there and get it done. But since we covered, pretty much Jimmy and Trey, we can move on. What do you think of Josh Rosen being here? Because I've heard he's got a pretty high football IQ himself. And a lot of people, I guess they don't like the way he asks questions. But, I mean, hell, he's asking them. So at least that tells you that, he would like to, understand things, from the coach's perspective so he can make the right decision. What do you think?
I think he's a quality backup. I like him as far as what he can do athletically and just what he can do from a quarterback perspective as far as throwing the football. Like him better than Nick Mullins. I like him better than CJ Beathard. I think how he spins it, when you put on the tape and you look at Josh Rosen, when everything is clicking, he can spin it with the best of them. The kid's got an arm. Yeah. He's got decent accuracy. Like you said, he came into a situation with Arizona, and what you said hit the nail on the head. Ownership want these guys to come in and win right away, but it's not like that. And even before Steve Wilks got there, it was Bruce Arians, and they were mediocre with Bruce Arians. Sometimes they would do good, sometimes they would do bad. Sometimes they would win.
Palmer off the couch.
Right. So, they were mediocre with Bruce Arians. And then Bruce Arians goes to Tampa Bay. He's mediocre with Jameis Winston. And then he wins a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And now Bruce Arians is the next greatest thing. So they were mediocre before Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks has to come there and completely change the culture, because that's what head coaches do. They come in and they instill their culture, their way of doing things, and they have to find players to buy into that. That doesn't happen in a year. It doesn't happen in a year. And then again, you didn't have the offensive personnel around Josh Rosen for him to be successful. And then I think after that, he goes to New York. Well, we see what Miami. Okay, I forgot that. Miami. That wasn't a good situation. Then he went to New York. That wasn't a good situation either. He hasn't been in he hasn't been in a good offensive situation. Anywhere you look at, he hasn't been in a good offensive situation. Now I think he's in a good offensive situation. It's just he has Jimmy G and Trey Lance ahead of him. So I do like him as far as his IQ, because if his IQ is high and Trey Lance's IQ is high, and they're studying the playbook to learn it together, that can only be a big benefit. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many stories I got from school, high school and college, where I was doing a group project with somebody that didn't quite have it all. It's hard. It's hard to go through algebra and statistics and biology homework and chemistry with somebody who don't got it all, man. It's tough. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to do the best I can do as a fellow student, help you through this. But now I can't get the attention that I need because I'm trying to help you catch up. It don't work. It don't work that way. So if we got two high IQ guys who can really get this playbook under the belt and they can kind of help each other, they can bounce information off of one another, I think that can only help speed up Trey's learning curve. So I think it's a benefit from what he's able to do in the event that he needs to go into the football game. So say if Jimmy does go down, but Kyle feels Trey isn't ready, or he's putting him into a situation where maybe Jimmy goes down and there's injuries on the offensive line, and we playing the Cardinals, and they got J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones and Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons coming off the edge, screaming. I'm not going to put Trey in there. I'm not going to send him into that ass whooping. So I feel confident maybe sending somebody like Josh Rosen in if Trey isn't ready yet, because athletically he's better than the former guys that we had, and with his IQ he's able to process information quickly.
Yeah, and everything that you said makes complete sense. For me, with Josh, he'll wind up being the third QB. And it's only strictly because of where you drafted Trey. You don't draft someone number 3 overall and tell them you're third QB, because that tells you there's a problem. Because that's a lot of draft capital to give up to put somebody on the bench and bury him like that. So you always want to make sure that you keep that guy's confidence up, and that example is perfect. You got a couple guys go down. You don't want to put nobody into that. The only thing I would say to that is they're going to have to. People are going to come for them. They're going to look and go, hey, what's up, Sin? They're going to look and go, why? Why would you put in Josh Rosen? Why isn't, and then instead of them thinking exactly like you are, which makes complete and total sense to a sane person, the media is going to have a field day with that. Oh, they're going to rip him to shreds. So, Kyle, why'd you put in Josh and not Trey? What's wrong with Trey Lance? Is it that he's not picking up the playbook? What's going on? Like, they're going to ask you all those crazy questions, and, it's just going to put them in a bad mood, But I think, honestly, it'll be Jimmy 1, Trey 2, Josh Rosen 3, and I'll probably keep Sudfeld for the practice squad since we got rid of Josh Johnson for some unknown wide receiver who no one knows what he's done or who he is. I don't even remember his name. And, like, that to me is like, you just look at it.
It's like Andy something.
Andy something, right? Let me see. I think I got
Andy Johnson or Andy
something. Hold on, because we got a chat, man, and we got a chat. I think you should be in it. I don't know if they had you in there or not.
I think I'm in it.
Let me look back.
Hold on.
Because we all joked about it, man. It was straight hilarious. Hold on. There's so many, man. We be going so hard in this dang chat. It'd be crazy. Um, and the symmetry out there. Hey, man, I love you, bro, but you ain't beating out old Mitch Wish. You ain't beating him out for that first spot, bro. No, no, no. Andy Jones.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. He not even coming up on my Bleacher Report.
That's what I'm saying. Andy,
Oh,
who's
there
Andy
it is.
Jones? Who are you? Where did you come from? It's just like River Craycraft. I knew nothing of him. Like, bro, like, come on, man. These people, I'm all for trying to fortify the roster, make sure the guys don't get injured. But we honestly have a real unfortunate thing that's happening to us, and it's called wide receiver 3. We don't know who that is. You know why? Because if Debo or Ayuk goes down, I'm not counting on Travis Benjamin to come in and take meaningful snaps. You won't give Richie James a stitch of room to even get on the field. And Jalen Hurd, he about as fragile as an egg. I know people don't like it when I say that, but if you spend 2 years on the sidelines doing nothing, Jerick McKinnon, ungrateful self, I don't know what to tell you. These are things that happen, and I mean, you got to look at it like that. So, as much as I would love to have a wide receiver 3, we don't know who that is right now. Now, would I like for Jalen Hurd to magically turn around, be healthy, and have a great season? Of course. But you know the crap part about that? He's going to still have growing pains. Why? Technically, he's a rookie. And why? Because he was playing running back before he was playing receiver. He started over Alvin Kamara at Tennessee. The only reason Alvin Kamara ever saw the field is because he left. That's what people don't like. It's learning and understanding, you know, everything behind it. So, for me, Nate Sudfeld will be our guy on the bench and with the practice squad, probably hanging out with Austin Walter or something. You know what I mean? And that's going to be – I'm not going to give Nate Sudfeld a lot of time because there's not really much to talk about. I still have, for the life of me, no idea of why he was on the field and Jalen Hurts wasn't. That just didn't make sense. Put Nate Sudfeld in. Well, he gave us the best chance to win.
Really?
Okay. Let's run this back for a second. Jalen Hurts, Alabama, #1 program in college. Last time I checked. Yeah, but not bad. You know, they produce a couple NFL stars here and there. You know, just a few.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. And then let's see, Oklahoma. Not too bad of a program there either. Kid cuts his dreads and he seems to win. Comes in for Carson Wentz. Wentz is gone. But Nate Sudfeld gives you the best chance. Doug P, this is why you got fired, sir. This is why you got fired. You're an offensive-minded guy. You come from the Andy Reid coaching tree. But you just – come on now. Some people like – #1 thing for me with Kyle. I don't like that he takes his foot off the gas.
And he doesn't strike me as that type of person. Like when he talks and how he feels about his offensive scheme and the way he's able to scheme up, like you mentioned, every time he talks to the referee, he was like, George, as long as you don't fall down, it's a touchdown. He told the other referee in the Packers game, he was like, yo, watch his guy. He's going to go in and he's going to come out. He's been holding them all day. The play goes, it happens exactly as he called it. The ref has to throw the flag. Like, he's so confident in what he's able to do and scheme up on the offense. Why would you ever slow it down? Listen, I don't care. I know they allow it in college, but in the NFL, it's frowned upon to run up the score. Why?
Yeah,
we grown ass men. We adults. The kids in college, they not getting paid to do that. That's just Alabama playing some team we never heard of before in their first game of the season, putting up 83 points.
Conference.
Right.
Like that weak team happens to be there, so they're going to destroy them.
Putting up 83 points, and nobody frowns upon that. But if I'm in the NFL and I'm up 49-0 and I score another touchdown, it's frowned upon. Y'all mad at me for running up the score. Stop me then.
It's bad sportsmanship for you to do that. You should have a better decorum of yourself, and not now I'm gonna run this ball down.
Bull. And even if I don't pass, if I'm running the football and you can't stop me, take it to the crib every chance you get. Well, I don't understand why that's such a problem. And I don't know if that's factors into Kyle's psyche. But yeah, man, he always take his foot off the gas. Why?
Yeah, you can't. And my thing is, I've always said it like this. I get it. If like in your example, you have 49-0. Yeah, you take it. Ain't nobody scoring 49 points. That's just not happening. You get into the fourth quarter. No, you don't need to score. You run the ball the rest of the game. You literally could just tell your receivers all you're going to do is block the rest of the game. Because you have such a gap. The number one thing I saw that told me that Kyle was not on that level was your GM called for a timeout. Your GM.
That was telling.
That was telling. John played in the era where you could hit somebody, where there was a kill zone, and he would light that ass up. John was not to be played. People who look at John and go, oh, yeah, man, he was all right. John Lynch.
He was a headhunter.
Would take your head off.
He was a headhunter.
If you do not believe me out there, people, please go look at some film. You will find out who that man is. He ain't playing no games. John Lynch come across the middle of that field, try to take your head off. He trying to knock the soul out your body and watch it go away.
Yep.
If your GM is thinking timeout, why wouldn't you be thinking timeout? You are playing the guy who is known to come back all the damn time, the whole season, since he's pretty much started in the league. You can get Patrick Mahomes down, but when you get him down, you do not let him back up.
They came back twice in that playoff run. They had to come back against Houston, and they had to come back against Tennessee to even get to the Super Bowl to see us. They was down in both of them games.
Tennessee was in that ass. And that's the thing. Like, you can't take – when you're playing a quarterback like that, you give him no room to breathe. I don't know. If Patrick Mahomes go to the bathroom, I want Nick Bosa standing outside the stall. I don't want him to have not a second to even think. Why? Because that's going to make – look what happened when he had all that pressure and he was running for his life. They lost. Why?
Not a single touchdown.
Who was that? Because their defense, it was that Lovie Smith?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. Bowles understood I need to keep the pressure on him. If I keep the pressure going on him, I don't have no issues. If he can't be comfortable, he's trash. So it's smart enough for you to think if I keep my foot on the gas while I'm up, then it doesn't matter if he comes out and scores another touchdown. You know why? Because I'm going to go score another one. He's going to have to go tit for tat for me, but I'm going to be the one that's going to make the big play. But that's the thing. You can't take your foot off the gas. So speaking of foot on the gas, we got the running backs. We have unfortunately already been hit by the injury bug. Mr. Jeff Wilson Jr. tore that meniscus, and he's out for a while. But we drafted a couple of kids that I definitely didn't expect. I was not happy that we drafted 2 running backs. I was very upset, strictly based on the fact that I didn't think we needed any running backs. But I guess it is what it is. They're here now. So we still have Raheem the Dream Mostert. We do have Trey Sermon, Wayne Gallman. We got him from the Giants. Elijah Mitchell and JaMycal Hasty. Now, I don't count Josh Hokett and Juice because they're fullbacks. And, Josh Hokett will most likely wind up on the practice squad. But, that's kind of how that works. So for me, I feel Mostert's going to be the starter. And the reason I feel he's going to be the starter is because he's the perfect guy for the offense. He knows what it is, and most of it is a one-cut dude. Trey Sermon, Austin Walker. You're right, Sim. My bad. I did. Well, no, Austin Walter. I didn't see him on the list.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. He is gone. Yes, I did not see him on the list. So my thing with Raheem is, he's definitely RB1 in this situation because there's nobody that's going to take over his job. You know, Raheem is seasoned. He knows what he's doing. He's been playing, but having Trey back there and having Elijah is definitely a good thing. Having Jermichael Hasty back, I know he's perfectly healthy after that collarbone. Collarbones usually heal very, very well. As long as you don't do anything stupid to break it or mess with the process, it heals up pretty quickly. It's not a big deal. So I'm pretty sure Jermichael will be back to doing what he does. But with Raheem, he's, fastest player in the NFL. I mean, even though Tyreek Hill continues to say that he is, I ain't see him run 23.09 miles an hour. Last time I checked, that was Raheem the Dream. And to be honest with you, I've said this before, I ran track. Tyreek Hill's form is trash. If his form was tightened up, if he ran like Raheem, he would be faster. Because Tyreek has what we like to call in track and field freakish speed. It's in you. You can only do so many things running track to be able to build your speed. You can run with parachute, sled, all that crap. That can help. But I'm gonna tell you right now, some certain people, you born with it or you not, and he was born with it. That young man, he's got some unbelievable speed. Shout out to DK Metcalf for running a 10.36, and he is not a track star. Maintaining 22 miles an hour, he ain't playing fully padded. Think about that. Fully padded, maintaining 22 miles an hour for 100 yards. I don't want to chase him down. I don't want to run out. I'm a day. If he get past me, I'm just gonna stop. Hey man, you ain't even try to catch him. For what? What am I gonna run for? My health? I'm good, man. I feel like I pulled my hamstring, coach.
Right. You ain't gonna make me pull my hamstring.
No.
Not today.
Because I'll tell you right now, I know me, my competitive spirit will make me push to go get him. Mm-hmm. But with him, he actually has the best one cut and go that I've seen in a while from our guys. The only other guy I know of that had that one cut that was dope, but he just never had the speed was Frank Gore. Frank could do that. He could put his foot in the ground and he could go. But the only thing is, Frank could give you about a good 20 or 30. Somebody can catch him. He wasn't fast, but Frank always fell forward, and he's our leading rider. I love Frank. Somebody did a little thing on Twitter, and they said they put a bunch of people up as they were old, and Frank Gore picture looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I think it was like Russ, and Pat Mahomes, and somebody else, and
then Frank Gore was regular pitcher because he's been in the league so long.
He ain't never checked. He ain't
aged. He didn't age one bit, yo.
And have you seen his son?
Look just like him.
But his son is cold.
He's a beast.
He's nice. Gonna be good. He's gonna be real good. So Raheem, I say he'll be the starter. Now we gotta figure out who's next in the pecking order. A lot of people.
It's gonna be Trey.
Yeah, Trey.
It's gonna be Trey.
Yeah. Talk about it.
It's gonna be Trey. Listen. You hate to say that you're happy to see an injury, and I like Jeff Wilson Jr., but I don't like him as much as I like Trey Sermon. I mean, okay. I was watching Trey Sermon throughout last year, and especially during the college football playoff, and I was like, I'm sure you do this. I'm sure a lot of the faithful do this. You watch some of these college players, and you're like, man, I could see him as a 49er. Like, I wonder what Kyle would do with this cat in his system. Now, obviously, he's a bigger back than what we're used to seeing. But Jeff Wilson was also kind of that bigger back. Jeff Wilson was our power guy. Yeah. But I think what we're going to get out of Trey Sermon, I think we're going to see more than just a power guy. I think Trey Sermon may give us what Trey Sermon is going to give us is going to resemble a lot of what Najee Harris gives Pittsburgh. Because Najee Harris is a big guy. He's not really known for his speed, but he can get to that next gear if he needs to. He can power if he needs to, run in between the tackles. He can run outside. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think Trey Sermon is going to do all of that and a little bit more because I think he's faster than Najee Harris. So I'm just excited to see that he's going to get more carries now because Jeff Wilson Jr. is out 4 to 6 months. So, if Kyle traded up in the third round to get this kid, there's a plan. There is most certainly a plan. And I'm as an impatient fan, I'm excited to see that plan earlier rather than later. So while it does suck for Jeff Wilson Jr., I think it's easier for running backs to get acclimated to the league than it is a quarterback. So I want to see Trey right away. Yeah, Raheem is going to be our starter. Raheem is going to get them dudes tired because, like you said, they got to chase him and they're going to be out of breath. Then you bring in this kid and he's going to lower that shoulder. You already out of breath. He's going to take you completely. He's going to take you completely out the play because now you gas. He's going to lower that shoulder. Now you out of here, and we're just going to be able to continue to run the ball down teams' throats. So I'm excited to see what Kyle has in store for him. He's definitely going to get more touches now that Jeff is out.
Yeah, and with Jeff being out, that kind of hurt me because I'm a Jeff Wilson fan, and the reason I am is because he is our banger. Like last year, when I saw Raheem in on the goal line, I was like, where's Jeff? Why is Raheem in the game? What are we doing? He don't know. This is not what he does. I don't need him. No. This ain't going. It's not. We're going to kick a field goal. One of my guys, because I'm sitting there because we have Mill Ave out here is where it's at. In Tempe, they have the varsity. It's called Varsity Tavern. And like we 49er fan, we take over that joint on Sundays, because it's right by ASU, literally,
okay,
like right there. So we take over that joint, man. We go up in there, so when I tell you we deep, man, we deep. It's everywhere. Like you'll see a couple of other fans sprinkled in there, but that's because that's somebody's spouse. You know what I mean? Like one dude, he comes there consistently. His wife is a Cowboys fan. She's the only person that walks in there with a Cowboys fan who doesn't get a lot of crap or flack because that's, we know who she is. Other Cowboy fans probably in rip them shreds, But we go in there, man, and we watch and we have such a good time. But with Trey Sermon, I have to agree. I guess it is going to wind up being him because Jeff, that's what he was. He was that goal line dude. He did catch that pass from Jimmy and take it in for the Cardinals game for the win, and I think the NFC West is going to be like beautifully competitive. I don't believe that Seattle has any shot at getting Julio Jones strictly based on the fact that they just don't have the money. You just paid Tyler Lockett. You're not going to give up DK Metcalf. Like, don't get me wrong. If you were to ask me right now, who would I want between DK Metcalf and Julio Jones? I'm going to take Julio Jones all day. I already know what I'm getting. And I'm gonna tell you why. I know he was injured last year. Julio's still Julio. I don't look at him like I look at AJ Green. I look at AJ Green and I say, you may get a good season, you may not. I've always said this because this is what I truthfully believe. A lot of players play for money while other players play for, the love of the game. There's dudes out there that really want to get a ring, and there's dudes out there that just try to get paid. And I always use the same example, Steven Jackson for the Rams. Simple, easiest example. He stayed with the Rams. That man had the nerve to go on national television, and they asked him why he left. And he said, because I got tired of losing. It took you 8 years to realize you wasn't going to win nothing with the Rams. And you got in before the CBA. So you got paid your first go-round. You got paid. No, you got paid. You did. No. They dropped the pretty penny in your pocket there, brother. And then when that new contract came on up and they dropped another big old fat check in your pocket, you was like, hey, man, good looking out, baby. I'm around. You wouldn't think about losing at that point. Because if you're thinking that you want to be a winner, you're going to want to leave. You don't want to be franchised. None of that. You want to get somewhere where you know this team has a shot to be a contender, and you can do that. And I think with having those two young backs and Trey Sermon and Elijah, I think we can actually, start to develop something because we never really drafted running backs. We always just use the undrafted guys that we found. Look at Matt Breida, Raheem, Jeff, you know what I mean? Just rotating through a bunch of dudes that really were unknowns, but Bobby Turner was that great. Yeah, he could just say, man, that's cool, man. Just give me whoever I'll make it work. And I think this year, I have to agree with what a lot of people were saying. Hey, we need to really get some dudes in here that did something that made some things happen. Because I went back and I took a look at Trey because it was really killing me. I was like, man, why did we draft a running back? Because I was hurting because I wanted Asante Samuel Jr. I wanted him. DB is my favorite position in football. And when I looked at him, I said, oh, boy, that's going to be his daddy all over again. Sure enough, magically we trade back. And I said, why would we trade back? What are we doing? And then what do I get? Because I look down for a few seconds. I look up, and the Chargers have drafted him. Now, one of my childhood friends is a diehard Charger fan. All I got was laughing emojis as much as he possibly could. Because he did it to me twice. I wanted Jason Verrett. I
remember that draft. Yep.
When he, I was like, man, if we draft this kid, that's the next great corner. We are solid. He did it to me then. He laughed. I'm sorry, but I can't help it. I said, yeah, no, it's okay. Now, let's hope he can string together another healthy season. But
yeah, for sure.
I think, honestly, with those dudes, we should be good. Because Wayne Gallman and Elijah Mitchell and JaMychal Hasty are going to be fighting for that third spot. We're going to be trying to figure out which one of those dudes we're going to stash on the practice squad, if we can stash any one of them at all. I saw what Mitchell did at Houston. I like what he did. But it just – right now, when I'm looking at it, Trey Sermon seems to be the perfect fit as the backup to Raheem Mostert and possibly the incumbent starter if, unfortunately, Raheem gets injured because he seems to, have a couple of nicks and bruises here and there. We don't want that to happen, but with last year, man, anything is possible. We got injured so much, it killed us. But what do you think of this kid, Mitchell?
Everything that I've seen from him, I like. He didn't go to, a big school and face good competition, but running back is one of them positions where you don't need to do that. What is your vision? Because it doesn't matter if you play in, if you play at Alabama or if you play at some school we never heard of before. If the hole is there, can you see it? And do you have the burst to hit it? And I think, shout out to Sim. He said, I love Coach Turner.
Yeah.
Coach Turner has a keen eye for finding those dudes who can see the hole and who can hit it. Because once you see it and you hit it, then it's backyard football. Once you get through that first level and it's one-on-one, you and a linebacker or you and a safety, now it's backyard football and you can do all your moves. You can figure out what you need to do to win against this guy that's in front of you, whether it's lowering your shoulder and running him over, whether it's a spin move, whether it's a juke. You can put up a package together to get more yards, but it's about first seeing the holes that are open and hitting them. So if Bobby Turner thinks this guy has the vision and has the burst to see the hole, hit the hole, then I love it. And then if you just look at what he's done so far, rookie mini camp, voluntary OTAs, everybody's saying the kid is lightning fast. He's so quick. He's got explosion. He's got the burst. He's out there moving. He reminds you of a Matt Breida, a young guy coming in, not really big school, but he's got the speed. And as long as he has the vision, he'll work out. So I could see it being something like, Raheem, Trey, and Elijah Mitchell. I could see the rookies being 2 or 3. Obviously, JaMychal Hasty, has the upper hand because he's been in the system already. Mm-hmm. Wayne Gallman has the upper hand because he's a veteran in the league. But depending on how many we keep on the active roster, I'm thinking we keep 4 because that's what we kept last year.
Yeah.
We had at one point we had Raheem, Jeff Wilson Jr., Tevin Coleman, and
Hasty.
Hasty.
Yeah, it was Hasty.
Or before Hasty was Jerick McKinnon.
Jerick
So
McKinnon.
at one point we had 4 running backs. So I mean, maybe you see Mitchell being used, being stashed on the practice squad, but I don't know if you can risk throwing him on the practice squad and somebody stealing him. So maybe they throw Wayne Gallman on the practice squad as the vet. I think you can add a veteran to the practice squad now.
I think you might be able to. Yeah, I think
you get a veteran or two. So if it's not Nate Sudfeld, maybe it's Wayne Gallman. Maybe we can still throw Jermichael Hasty on there because he's only coming into his second year. Yeah, so maybe we can still throw him on. But I'm sure, the likelihood of somebody taking Elijah Mitchell over Jermichael Hasty is very very high because Jermichael Hasty's coming off the injury, and you got this fresh rookie, no injury history, looking good in camp. He's got the speed and the burst. So I don't know if I want to throw him on the practice squad because I might be worried about another team snatching him up. But I'm excited to see what he can bring too, from a speed perspective in that backup role because Kyle loves to use all of his running backs throughout the game. He likes to go with the hot hand. So if he throw Elijah Mitchell in there and he's got the hot hand that day, then you might see him get 12 to 15 carries, and Raheem may only get 8, and Trey Sermon may only get 6 or 7. So whoever's hot, Kyle is going to use. And that's the one thing I do love about him is he doesn't favor guys. He's not going to put you in there and just keep handing you the ball if you're not producing. If somebody else is having a better game, he's going to ride that guy. So I think the running backs that we have now give us the best opportunity that I think we've had in a long time to not only be successful, but to sustain that success.
Yeah, you make a very valid point there. I think that that was evidence is, what he did with Raheem. Raheem was running wild, so he was like, leave him in there. He's the one doing the job. He's surfboarding at least a couple times a game. All right, man, let's go on and get him out there. We ain't talking about Beyonce at surfboard. We talking about his, end zone dance. And for me, I look at it from a standpoint of what do we have to lose as far as, just going ahead and trotting those dudes out there. I think everything would be good for us to see these guys in some capacity. And Kyle is one of those dudes. He'll watch, just like you said, he'll watch that rhythm, and he'll look, and Jermichael may be getting off, and, Raheem may be going, well, Coach, when are you going to put me in? It's like, I'm not, because he doesn't have a true X or a Y or a Z or any of that. Like, you just play whatever position he asks you to play. We know that the 2 starters, obviously, when it comes down to it, are going to be pretty much Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. But, those dudes they're not stuck. They're not going to say, well, Ayuk's 1 and Deebo's 2. They're not going to flip either one of them. It's like those 2 dudes will be on field most of the time because they're the, basic guys that we start. But, when I looked at it from an offensive standpoint, I just looked at it and I said, we'll have Deebo and Ayuk. And then George is obviously our tight end. The only spot that's confusing is the right guard spot. Because I'm hearing Brunskill's supposed to actually be backup to Alex Mack. So I'm like, but he was supposed to play right guard. We've been trying to get this guy right guard forever, but we can never get him to play a full season at it because damn injuries keep happening. So kid Aaron Banks that we drafted, now there's word that he may be the guy to come in at right guard, and I heard that Mike McGlinchey was pounding the table for him and whatnot, and he really wanted the kid and everything, and it's like, we trust you, Mike, when we're running the ball. When we're passing the ball, we don't trust you as much because we know you can get ran over by somebody as small as I am. It's unfortunate. Because I had no idea how C.J. Gardner-Johnson put him on his ass. But That's a story for another day. I did want to ask you though, on a lighter note, how do you feel about Mr. Witherspoon's comments? Did you see what he said?
I was telling somebody else this, man, bro.
Oh yeah,
boy's delusional. He is all the way gone. And sometimes, like you got that sense from him, like when media was asking him questions, it just looked like he was like off in the space whenever he was answering them questions. And I think he's still there. I think he took a trip to like Jupiter or Saturn or something, and he still hasn't come back.
He building rockets, taking people everywhere.
Listen, he still ain't come back. And I listen, I understand when you play this game or any other sport, you're supposed to feel like you're the best. You're supposed to feel like you perform at a high level, and that, you know, especially in this game when it's mano a mano, it's me across from another man. I'm never going to say that you're better than me. Mm-hmm. You know, you're supposed to feel like that. But at the end of the day, you also have to be realistic.
Right?
Somebody like Deion Sanders could say that he was the best in the game. Somebody like Darrelle Revis, somebody like Champ Bailey, somebody like Charles Woodson, they could say that they were the best in the game. Richard Sherman.
Krause still has the interception record.
Still got the interception record.
Still do.
Richard Sherman in Seattle for a period of time, he could say he was the best. Rod Woodson. Yeah. There's dudes who could say that. Akello Witherspoon don't have the numbers, don't have the snap count. He don't have nothing that would ever tell me or anybody else just by looking at a piece of paper that he was the best corner in the NFL. How, sir? How? If you're watching this, please, I need you to break down thoroughly, not just something that you thought. I need anecdotal evidence. I need statistical fact. I need a PowerPoint presentation with 3 bullet points per slide, minimum of 5 slides of how you was the best cornerback in the NFL. Please, sir, you got to break that. How?
Man,
when?
I have to agree with you.
And listen, I tell you this. Last year, he only had one good play. And that was the play against DK Metcalf, where he did the thing where he it was one good play. One good play. And then the season before that, the Super Bowl year, he only had one good game.
It says empirical data.
Yes. Last year, the Super Bowl year, he only had one good game. And that was week 1 against Tampa. That was his only good game that year. And then after that, he got injured. He sat out a couple games. And then when he came back, he struggled. He almost lost us that Minnesota Vikings game because Stephon Diggs cooked him. So I really listen, I get it. You got to feel good about yourself, good about what you've accomplished. You're in the NFL. I think he's going into year 4 or year 5. So you've already made it past the 3-year average for most players. So that's an accomplishment in itself. But don't ever fix the side of your mouth to say that you was the best cornerback in the NFL at any period in your career so far. Don't do that.
Yeah, for me, I looked at it and I said, you know what this is? Another case of 49er going to Seattle and somebody putting a battery in their damn back. Look at what Carlos Hyde did. He went up there. Now he was running his mouth. Okay, look, man. At the end of the day, this is how I look at the Akello Witherspoon. Can you be the best? You have the prototypical size and length to be the best. There is something up here that is missing, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get beat on the play, that's the end of your game. You're done. It's wrap. You don't come back from it. It doesn't work. You get confused. Feelings are hurt. You get sad. You know, I don't know if you're going to a moment of depression. I'm not making fun of anybody with any depression problems. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what happens to him. Mentally, he shuts down when he has a crap game. And then it lingers. And you can't come out of it. When you are the best at something, you don't even have to say it. You let your game talk for you. That's what Dion just said this on I Am Athlete podcast.
I just watched that. Yep.
He said I ain't talk, so he said I ain't have to talk because my game was too loud. Dion knew that he was the best. He showed you better than he could tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you put him in that upper echelon of DBs. You have people that look at him like the Michael Jordan of defensive backs. You know why? Because Dion did it all. And he did it in ridiculously great fashion. I think Dion's the only sports athlete to have like a night. I think he played for like the Falcons and the Braves in the same damn night and had a great game for both. I think he went like 2 for 3 with the Braves and had like a stolen base or something. And then he went to the Falcons and had like a pick and like a punt return for it. Like, who does that?
Only player, only athlete ever to play in the World Series and the Super Bowl. Only athlete ever.
You know, like those are guys that can do that. When you turn around and say you are the best, if he would have said, I aspire to be the best, that would have made more sense.
That would have made more sense.
About you, bro. That's how you do it. I completely understand. Yes, we all aspire to be the best at what we are. What's going on? What you say, Kello's say it out there.
Tripping without his luggage.
Oh my God. Hey,
yeah,
man,
he didn't take nothing with him on that trip.
At the end of the day, man, we all seen Ace Ventura. You know, just the engine's running, but there's nobody behind the wheel. Like you just can't say that. That's like, you know, Jermichael Hasty coming out and saying I was the best running back on the team last year. No, you weren't. You barely got any yards when you got in the game. You danced around most of the time that you did get into the game. And the yardage that you did get, it was, you know, mediocre at best. But he wouldn't say that. You know why? Because he knew he wasn't. You know, that's like me saying I'm the greatest podcaster in the world. No, I'm not. There's a bunch of people out there that are way better than me. There's a bunch of people with statistical numbers that can tell me this is the reason why I'm better than you. Yes, I understand that. I'm not going to say something that's stupid. But I'm going to go out there and aspire to be the best. I'm going to bring guests like you on. I'm going to bring other guests. I'm going to bring people through. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have that opinion to bounce off of people. I don't mind taking constructive criticism. I learned that from a young kid, being in team sports. But you don't just run around saying you the best at something and you're not. You got to work. That's what I talked about that saying. That's why I said Carlos Hyde. You take your time, you build your career, and then you say something. You know how Emmitt Smith could say he's the best running back in the world? Because he is. Emmitt did things that other running backs couldn't do. Mind you, he had an offensive line that was flat out ridiculous, and he played in a time where the offensive linemen were bullies. I think, hell, most of that offensive line was probably punching you in the face and kicking you in the stomach as you went down if you were a defensive lineman. But, hey, holes were open. Emmitt got his yards. And then the only thing that I laughed at people for was when he came to Arizona because they thought he was going to bring them a title. And I told them, you guys are delusional. At the end of the day, he's here to extend his rushing record. He don't care nothing about this damn team. Okay? He wasn't getting paid from Jerry again. It took everything in the world. It took Michael Irvin walking in the office and going, I'll take a pay cut. Give him the damn money. We suck. You know, but Emmitt can say that. Michael Irvin can say that. Why? Because they went on the field and they showed up and showed out. You and Keller Witherspoon have no business mentioning yourself and the word best in any sentence, unless the word aspire or I would like to be or I am working toward. There's got to be something in front of it that says that you're going to get there. but you can't say you're there because last time I checked, Xavier Howard led the league in interceptions last year. How many did you have? These are things you just don't do.
Stephon Gilmore as a corner won Defensive Player of the Year the year before that. So so you mean tell me you better than Xavier Howard and Stephon Gilmore?
Yeah, because I can tell you right now.
I could name a bunch of other corners. You wasn't even better than Richard Sherman, and when he was with us, and we're talking about out of his prime Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the best corner on your team. Emmanuel Mosley was better than you.
Yeah, and I wanted, out of all people, like when Sherman came out, because it was crazy how he wound up developing that quickly because Sherman was a wide receiver in college. And they flipped him to DB when he got here, which is extremely rare. Typically, they go ahead and keep you at the same position. But when him and Revis were having their battle, their tit for tat, I sided with Sherman. I liked Revis. I thought Revis was a great player, but there's something about him that I just didn't care for, and that's how it works. But it's awesome, man. It's awesome. But we went through our QBs and our running backs, man, and I don't want to hold you up much longer. But at the end of the day, we pretty much have it set up. We both believe it'll go Jimmy, Trey, and probably Josh Rosen. We don't have to worry about the other Josh because he doesn't exist anymore because some kid named Andy came and took his spot, which I tell you, trying to explain that one, man. Hey, listen, you're not gonna get that.
I really just want to put a poll out there, within our group chat, is how long he's going to be on the roster. Because I thought Marquise Lee, he's a veteran in the league, still got a little bit of juice.
Got cut quick
for Benny Fowler of all people. I'm like, Benny Fowler better than Marquise Lee? I'm like, okay. And then now Andy Jones. Listen. I don't know what the plan is. Like I mentioned to you before the show, maybe it's just to have bodies to keep Ayuk and Debo healthy. We don't want them pulling hamstrings going into the season. We want them to start healthy. So maybe it's to keep their reps down. But this wide receiver carousel we on right now is kind of throwing me for a loop.
Because you got to think about it. So I'm doing another one tomorrow, and I'm bringing Mike from Nothing But Niners on, and we're gonna talk receivers because Mike has a ridiculously interesting perspective on Kevin White, and I love when he goes in about him because I think Kevin White is trash and I think he's a bust. I felt like that since he set foot on the NFL grass because he just cannot stay healthy. And the difference is Kevin White has never shown me anything to make me believe that he's great.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, look, going back to it. Symmetry. Boom. Put him up there. Kello, you have 4 INTs. If you've been in the league, that's one a year.
One a year.
That is not the best.
That's not the best of nothing.
So sorry. Like no, sir. So I'm gonna have him come in. We're gonna go over the wide receivers because I love his perspective on Kevin White. He cracks me up, and he's in a Kello believer.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's a diehard Kello believer. He will break down the whole play and be like, "This dude, Mr. Assignments. That's why Kello looked bad." And I'm like, I get you, Mike, but I don't get you, man. At the end of the day, bro,
you gotta love him because he stick to his guns.
He do.
He got his belief, and he'll definitely listen to you. This is what I like about Mike. He'll listen to you. He'll understand your perspective. But there's always that we agree to disagree. Yeah. He don't come off of his guns, man. He know what he know. He knows what he likes. He understands what he sees with his eyes, and he sticks to his guns. Listen, I'm not going front. If Kevin White can stay healthy and surprise us, and if he can be wide receiver 3, if Jalen Hurd can't stay healthy and he's Mr. Glass as we all think he is, then I'll be pleasantly surprised, and I'll give Mike all his props for calling that. I mean, the kid is 6'3", 220. I mean, in the past, he used to run a 4.3. I'm sure he doesn't have that same speed, but if he's still running 4.4s with that size, and if he still got, the hands, if he can go up, catch the ball at his highest point, and if he could be our big body target outside of Kittle, because Kittle can't be the only one. No. If he can give us another big target that can go up, catch the ball at his highest point, still offer us a little bit of speed, then listen, I'm cool with it. But yeah, man, you gotta love Mike, man. He stick to his guns.
Yeah, man, he is ridiculously funny with that, bro. I die when he will literally go to war about a killer with a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So the guys that we have as our running backs is obviously going to be Raheem, and we're most likely going to roll with Trey. And I think that third spot possibly could be up for a little bit of a battle. I think, Elijah might edge out some of the competition, but, I didn't know much about Wayne Gallman, and then I went and looked at him, and he don't look too bad. He looks all right. I can see why they let him go, because you got Saquon coming back. So it's like, that's I never thought I would see hamstrings bigger than Maurice Jones-Drew. And he came in and I don't understand that. That's just freakish.
Yeah.
It's freakish. And I was like, Jesus, what do you eat? What are you doing? I don't know what kind of squats you're doing, but this is ridiculous, man.
It don't make sense.
That's why you're carrying all them dang Dan and Oikos, because you probably just squat that, and that's probably what you normally. I don't understand.
His protein intake is definitely up there.
Oh, it's through the roof. It has to be, because there ain't no way you get legs like that. Like, what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen some guys they're the opposite, the top heavy. Look at Run DMC. He was like that. McFadden, he did chicken legs, little skinny legs. You hit him in his legs, he going down. He ain't got no hook. But he was top heavy, and he could, he had a little bit of speed on him. But thank you for coming on, Mose. If you got some time tomorrow, man, drop me a line. I'll bring you in with me and Mike. Because you're gonna love that one, man. He gonna be old with this Kevin White, boy. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see that one, bro. I'm definitely gonna tune in for real.
Definitely the dude. And me and Mike, man, I usually get in with him when he jumps on IG, because they'll have their Nothing But Niners IG going, and usually when he jumps on live, I get on there. They caught me slipping one time, man. I literally sent a request, and boy, my head looked like I stuck my finger in a socket, and they put me on. I'm like, y'all really been caught the boy right here. I ain't mean to be doing this, man. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on, everybody. That is Mose Knows. If you don't know who he is, you must be sitting under a rock, because this dude definitely knows what he's talking about. Definitely get out there and follow him. Mose, you can definitely plug everything that you got. Tell them how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, everybody, you can find me on YouTube. If you just go on the search bar and type Mose Knows, you'll see it. It'll come up. On Instagram, it's what.mose.knows. So what.mose.knows. You can find me on Instagram. That'll link everything else. All other social medias I got. Just set up my Anchor. So any of the live shows that I do, you'll be able to see those on YouTube and on Twitch. But then if you can't sit down in front of a computer or a screen, or if you're just trying to, cut the screen time out and just get a listen in, whether you're driving on the way to work or whether you need something before you take it down for the night, just set up my Anchor account. And that's going to be streaming through Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Again, you can find all that information through my YouTube and my Instagram accounts. Appreciate any of the support that you guys provide. Love and appreciate all y'all. Dion, thank you so much, bro, for having me on. This was an absolutely amazing conversation. Love talking ball with you, bro. Always.
Oh, yeah, man. Same here. Definitely, y'all heard him, man. Jump on that IG and make sure you follow him. Take good care of him. We the 49er faithful, but at the end of the day, we a family. you know, and even though a lot of times we don't see eye to eye as family, we definitely got to make sure that we support one another.
For
Y'all
sure.
have yourselves a good evening, man. Appreciate y'all for dropping in. Sim, Sin, John V, Matt, and Matt. Hey, man, Matt, dude, Matt had you weak, bro. Matt and John V, them two cats, boy, they be going in. They be hilarious. But y'all have yourselves a good evening. We're gonna go ahead and end this show. Peace.